cloud computing. So today we will have the normal format, so some news, and I'm gonna have a look at Loft. Loft, as I said last week, is an interesting new open source project in the Kubernetes realm, and we're gonna, give it a try and see if we can install it. But first things first, a few news items here, things that I found interesting. So, we start with this one here. Hierarchical namespace controllers. The good folks of SIGHub.io put that together. This looks really interesting, and you see maybe a common theme here in terms of, multi-tenancy, high-level functions on top of the bare Kubernetes install. So, user management, namespace, isolation, multi-tenancy, etc. And that's certainly something interesting I may have a look at in a future episode. BottleRocket, we announced the BottleRocket GA last week, and it's just BottleRocket, right? No Amazon or whatever, just BottleRocket. And yeah, this looks like a really nice CloudFormation template there to play around for you. Give it a try. I find BottleRocket super interesting and definitely gonna dig into that in the context of ARM. So on my RPI, got an 8 gig now, or Graviton, right? Why not? Some heads up, next week there will be a live conference. Manning is doing that, and we have super interesting speakers there. All of these people well known in the Rust community and myself. So tune in. It's on Twitch. Should be interesting. Very nice article here on the new stack TNS on Linux cgroups version 2. As you may know, we're still using version 1 on Linux, on Kubernetes, sorry. And that's a change, right? Whereas version 1 kind of like organically grew over the years, and kind of like everyone who added something there kind of like did it on their own somehow. Yeah, V2 seems to be designed top down, and definitely worth it if you start reviewing it and prepare yourself. Another very nice blog post I read uh, the other day is by Steve Lasker. He works in Azure at Microsoft, and a nice write-up really about consuming upstream content, right? Like any kind of yeah, artifacts really. And in the context of ECR now supporting OCI artifacts, I was interested in seeing what others, and Steve being one of the main drivers behind this spec as well, what others write about that in terms of use cases. This is a wiki entry on Bash pitfalls, and while I'm myself moving away from Bash, it's the last phase of my renewed terminal experience. I moved to Alacrity. My Tmux is already many years old, but some improvements there. And now the last step is moving to Fish. And but still, like the majority of scripts out there are written in Bash, so improving your Bash skills is always a good thing. Last but not least, Charlie of ChatStack. I think I stumbled upon that like today. wrote fun things I'm doing with GitHub Actions, and that caught my attention. I think that's super cool. Um, Someone sharing hands-on what they um, do with GitHub Actions, and we use GitHub Actions, for example, in the ACK or ACK project, the AWS controllers for Kubernetes, and I find it super interesting to see what other people are doing with it. And now, got some 20 minutes left before I have to move on. We're gonna have a look at Loft. That caught my attention last week, and I said I'm gonna have a closer look at that. So here we are. Let's do it. Loft is, by its own description, a namespace and virtual cluster manager. That's impressive. Um, so it looks very polished. Architecture here, um, pretty straightforward, pretty clear what they're doing. Bunch of CRDs, custom resource definitions, extension API server, um, and also Kiosk, which is separate open source project for multi-tenancy. But we are focusing on Loft this time around. So let's have a look at the quick start. Quick start is always good, right? I got kubectl, I got Helm v3. I mean, who hasn't, right? We've all moved to version 3 by now, haven't you? And kube context with admin access to a cluster. I will not be using an online cluster, hosted cluster like EKS. I will use kind, and I have no idea if this is going to work because YOLO. So first things first, we always love to do that. Curl the heck out of it and pipe it into what happens here? If I say copy, will it blend? Boom, 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 boom. Yay. Nice. All right, so I have Loft installed now. Do I? Do I? Do I? Do I? No, I don't. Because I gotta move Loft somewhere. Yay, Loft. Loft.sh. Cool. All right, successfully installed. So what you're gonna do is Loft start. Just kidding. All right. So we're gonna do a Loft start, right? So I have, as I said, a kind cluster, a local, Docker-based cluster here. Kubernetes in Docker. So we're gonna do Loft start. Let's see what Loft thinks about the kind cluster. Is it kind? Welcome to the Loft installation. We'll guide you through installation. Yes. Is it running locally? Well spotted. Is that correct? Yes. Enter an email address for your admin user. No thanks at example.com. I don't know. Sure. Go ahead. So it uses under the hood Helm. If you remember, that was a prerequisite, right? It was one of the three things: kubectl, Helm, and kube context. And rightly identified that the kube context is kind Loft. That's the kind cluster I provisioned beforehand. There's a namespace there, Loft, very good. Self-signed cert, very nice. A super easy to remember admin password, which is 44D5BBAD. Bad. No, I mean like part of the admin password. Well done. All good. Liveness probe false, readiness probe false. Okay, I guess we don't want to hammer the app or whatever, the controller, too quickly. So, okay. we wait while we're waiting. Um, After start, we should get something like that. And yeah, it's self-signed, so we're gonna have to accept that certificate. And hopefully it comes up in the browser and we can explore it a little bit. So far, the install experience was really nice. All I had to do was install the Loft CLI. It seems to be a common pattern nowadays, right? Like everyone, no matter what you're installing, it seems to be a cloud native part of the cloud native um, uh, experience that you have to install a specific CLI for it. I'm just waiting for some meta CLI that is able to control all the others, so I don't need one for Linkerd and one for Istio and one for etcd and one for Loft and one for this and one for that, but cloud native CLI, whatever. By the way, we have something like that. It's called AWS CLI, version 2 now, went GA. Um, and yeah, it would be nice, a bit of feedback for the UX designers who have done that. It's perfectly fine to say this can take several minutes. Um, and to make the experience maybe even more awesome, you could give a little hint of what exactly it is you're doing. You might be, you know, there might be a timeout that you're into. You're waiting for something to happen. It might be downloading something. So I know it's the pipes. It's like how fast is my internet connection? Um, just give me something, right? That's like a couple of minutes that I could just know where is it? Is it like waiting for something? Is it hanging somewhere? Um, is it my network connection? Whatever. Um, just to shorten time, or I don't know, offer a little game in the meantime. All right. So once that's installed, we gonna log in, right? That sounds good. That sounds good. If you lose the command, you can simply run loft start again. Idempotent, right? Nice. Very nice. Dev space rocks. Yeah. Before you jump right into Loft, please make sure you're also logged in via the Loft CLI. Ah, insecure. I guess that's part of the quick start. Nope. Still doing something. Let's encrypt. Yay. Let's encrypt. Cool. So that was pretty straightforward so far. Um, and I guess we gotta wait. Let's have a look at the other options. Um, what you can use here with or without cert manager. So this is essentially more or less doing what Loft Start appears to, more or less doing what Loft Start does for you under the hood with maybe a little bit more fine-grained configuration options. Need an ingress controller. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Ha! Here is a big tip. At the beginning, like, do you say 10 minutes somewhere here? No. So at the beginning here, tell people that it will take 10 minutes. Like I would probably have said, oh, error. Timeout. Yeah. So here's the thing. If you set the expectations right in the beginning here, we say, look, this will take 10 minutes as you do here, right? Here you actually say, may take 10 minutes, wherever that was set up. may take up 2 to 10 minutes. That should totally also be in the quick start guide, right? Like I had no idea. Am I talking 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes? And apparently I ran into the timeout here. So let's just do it again, right? Um, there you go. All right. So I have a URL here. Warning! Warning! Yay! I will totally do that, right? YOLO. Accept the risk. No risk, no fun. And there you go. And if I remember correctly, I also have to log in the CLI, right? So, oh, got it. Got it. That's a port forward there. Okay, okay, okay. Got it. So back here, so loft. We did that. Blah 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 blah. Yep. Okay, okay. Before you jump in, make sure you're also logged in via the loft CLI. So I'm guessing. Well, let's just give it a try. So admin. I will be able to remember admin. Admin. And here, this super. No, no, you don't say that. No, no, no. Yeah, whatever. No, thanks. Role. I don't know. I'm non-technical. Team size. I'm one engineer. Example. All right. There we go. Nice. Cool. I like it. I like it. V clusters. Guessing it's virtual clusters in contrast to the real clusters, and I could connect others, I guess. I got quotas. Very nice. Got teams. Users. No thanks. There you go. That's me. How about namespace admin1? Optional password. Huh. Nice. Cluster accounts. Cool, 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 cool. Awesome. Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Um, that's nice. That's very nice. License ID, subscription plan. So this is how you make money then, right? Nice. Yeah, very nice. Spaces seems to be borrowed from the OpenShift project, like kind of like a Kubernetes namespace on steroids. So like with other stuff, because those are obviously our namespaces, right? Like um, if I would do a kubectl get ns, then I would see these namespaces, the default namespace, which is always there, loft, which you've seen, and these are by default. So that's cool. Um, and not entirely sure what vclusters and clusters is, but I'm guessing you can. Got it. So here you've got the cluster. You can install various. That's sweet. Various apps, where apps is, you know, probably more infrastructure related, like your own registry, cert issuer, cert manager. Get an ingress there, kiosk, as I mentioned early on, for multi-tenancy, and spaces. Remember, at least my interpretation, the namespaces, Kubernetes namespaces and steroids. Virtual cluster. Let's create one. So this is my first V cluster namespace. Gotcha. So you take a namespace and then you can configure a virtual cluster like that. So now this is an actual virtual cluster that is in the default namespace. So you can essentially launch your own, or at least in this case it's K3s clusters there. Cool. Well, very nicely done. All right, I have to wrap up rather soon, but my first impression of Loft is that it's really well done, very nicely done. This little hiccup in the install is like whatever. And as I said, maybe consider adding this can take up to 10 minutes or whatever, right at the top here in blinking red, saying, "Hey, you know, gotta be patient." And I think they say that here, right? Um, if something happens, you just hit off start again, and it will work. So that was pretty awesome. Congratulations. Well done. And yeah, go and give it a try. Um, looks very useful. All right. Thanks a lot for your time, and see you around next week. Bye now.